Oh, huh? Oh, man. You know what kind of bugs me is when people put decals on their cars and they're not center. Like there's a decal on the back of this Kia Optima that's supposed to be like centered in the back window, and it's about off by 2 inches. It's not one of the, I can understand one that's like close and you can kind of tell that it's off center because you're just studying it, but the ones that are just like way off blow my mind. Because most cars have things that are in the center. Like this thing has an antenna dead center on the roof line. You could have like used that to maybe line it up. I don't know. I wonder if they did it if they felt regret. Kane here. It's Thursday, so surprise, didn't get this out on time. By the way, this isn't Starbucks, it's just in a Starbucks cup. Today we're going to talk about regret, or the thought of regret, and just different aspects of it that I think. Obviously, this is all just my thoughts on regret. I have done zero research besides the research of my life and maybe other lives around me. So, regret, everyone deals with it. I've dealt with it. And the main reason I wanted to talk about it today was because I hear it all the time, especially with like people of like my generation or the younger generation under mine, is like that they're just living without regrets. Which, I understand the principle behind that saying or that lifestyle. I just don't think, honestly don't think, that you can live without regrets. And hear me out on this. And I also don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing to have regrets. Now, the reason I think that there's no possible way for you to live without regrets is at some point in time you've always made a decision, and the decision necessarily didn't have a wrong answer, right? So you could have made a choice whether to, like, say it's about a job. You could have either stayed at the job you were at, you know, it was a decent job at the time, you didn't hate it, I mean, you enjoyed going there most days or something like that, but then a new opportunity came about. It was a new job, maybe a little bit better pay. You thought it was going in more of a direction that you wanted to go in as far as like your resume and your career and stuff like that. And you don't know what's going down the line like 5-10 years from now. So immediately at that point in time, there is an unknown of which one is the right answer to go with. Like, which one do you go with, right? So you have to choose, because you're an adult now, which is lame. Kids, stay young. Impossible, but just try it out. And so you have to make a choice. Do you lose? Do you leave this job and go to the next job? Or do you turn down what you would call an opportunity and stay at the job that you're at? Now, let's just say, hypothetical in this situation, both jobs ended up with you getting to a place in your life that you love. Okay? Now, not every choice, like fork in the road, is going to end this way, but they could be minor, right? They could be major in this action. So, no matter what you chose then, you could always wonder or regret the situation that you didn't choose or see how the other one went, right? Like, it's feasible to go back and point anywhere in your life and be like, man, like, I really regret making that decision. I bet it was better if I'd have went the other way because this, and this. And it's so easy to do it because of the fact that it's all unknowns. Like, they're all variables. So you can't ever tell that besides some hindsights, you can't ever tell for 100% every single action that was going to take after that choice, right? And this kind of plays into the fear of missing out. I had a huge fear of missing out, like, problem when I was younger, which I thought was hilarious. Like, I hated going to school because I thought I was missing out on something that was going on at the house. I was the youngest in my family, though. There wasn't anybody else at the house, so I don't even know what I was missing out with. The ability to live without regrets, I think, is an on-off, like, toggle switch. Like, if you just didn't give a crap about the choices you made, and you made the decision mentally to go ahead and go forward and be like, this is the decision I made. I know I can't change it. It's in the past. So I'm going to make this route the best route that I can make. I think that's the closest that you can get to living without regrets. But you could sit at your desk or in your car or wherever you're listening to this right now and find a point in your life that you could have been like, shoot, I bet it was better if I'd have done that instead of this. And that goes with simple things too. And this is also why I know that's kind of negligible, but like, you can make a choice at like a restaurant. You got a different dish than you normally do. Boom, it was bad. You regret that decision. You're like, shoot, shouldn't have got the Monte Cristo. I don't really like this combination at all. Should have stuck with my jalapeno salad. Whatever you like, I don't know. So I think it's impossible to go through life without regret, but I do recognize that there are stages of regret. There's definitely ones that I'm sure that saying is really about, like, make your decision appropriate for the situation's level or heaviness on your heart kind of thing. But the reason I say I think regret is good is because it makes you ultimately think harder on larger decisions. Now that can also be adverse to what you're doing, because you can overthink things. I do it quite often. So it's a balance, but that's what I'm saying. I think regret is a natural process in our own head in order to make us think harder in the future or learn from our mistakes in the back, like the back past. Like, if we didn't have regret, maybe we would learn less about the mistakes that we've had. But the fear of missing out thing, a lot of people struggle with too. And I kind of intertwine those as the same thing, because you're so afraid of, like, not going to this event with these friends because you were already invited to this event with these other friends. Like, you're gonna miss out in life. You have to choose a path, is the problem. So, that's a nice cigar. So, that's something that everyone deals with, and I think everyone should just embrace it. You're going to regret stuff. Is it bad? No. / yes. You got regrets. I got regrets too. Okay? Everyone does. But you just gotta keep pressing forward. That's what I think. Like this morning, I almost regretted my cereal decision. I was like, man, maybe I should have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But I was like, shoot. But I really love Honey Bunches of Oats. So I went with Honey Bunches of Oats. Now that subtle change maybe could have affected this entire day. Maybe because it took me longer to open the bag of Honey Bunches of Oats because it was a new bag, then in turn step back my time getting to work. But maybe I meet somebody walking through the door and it opens up an opportunity. It's crazy things like that that you can overthink. But anyway, this is just some of my thoughts on regret and, you know, how I try to attack it or perceive it or move forward or move past after it. I gotta merge. People ain't letting me over. Woohoo! Made it. So, you know, let me think. Let me know what you think. Because this was supposed to be out on Wednesday, and I do regret not getting it out on time. But life happens and we move on. Or at least I do. Catch you next week.